I don't care if we have our house or a cliff ledge or a cardboard box. Home is wherever we all are together. James Patterson. Introductory material. Dear learner, this material will help you study the topics related to learning activity 2. You will learn about 1. Phrasal verbs, 2. Furniture, 3. Idiomatic expressions. Let's begin. 1. Phrasal verbs. A. Basic introduction. Even if you don't know what phrasal verbs are, you can be sure you have been seeing them in English. Just remember what you have to do every morning after the alarm clock wakes you up. Get up. Get up is a phrasal verb. But what is a phrasal verb? A phrasal verb is a compound verb composed of verb plus a preposition, adverb, which creates a meaning different from the original verb. Let's take a look at our original example. Get up. This phrasal verb has two parts. Get, 1, plus up, 2. When you combine these two parts, you have the meaning you are familiar with, to get out of bed after sleeping. If you use a different preposition, the meaning of the verb changes. For example, if you use the preposition down, the new verb get down means to feel a little depressed. Phrasal verbs are divided into two categories, intransitive and transitive. By reading the explanation below, you will be able to tell the difference. B. Intransitive verbs. In order to understand what an intransitive verb is, you need to remember what a subject and what an object are. A subject is the performer of the action. An object is the receiver of the action. Let's take a look at the following example. Subject, Jamie. Verb, loves. Object, pizza. Now that we have clarified this point, let's continue with the definition. An intransitive verb doesn't need to be followed by an object. Here are some examples of intransitive phrasal verbs. Wake up. Pat woke up early. Take off. Rocio's plane took off at 3 after a very long delay. Show up. Magdalena finally showed up, but she didn't say where she was. C. Transitive verbs. A transitive verb needs an object in order to acquire meaning. Before illustrating this with a phrasal verb, let's take a look at the following example with a regular transitive verb. Transitive verb, buy. Example, she bought. Incorrect. If you read that sentence, you might think, she bought water. It sounds incomplete. It requires an object in order to have full meaning. Example, she bought a cake. Here are some examples of intransitive phrasal verbs. Hand in. Nicole handed in her proposal. Object, her proposal. Look for. I am looking for my pipe. Object, my pipe. If a phrasal verb is transitive, it can either be separable or inseparable. Separable. The object goes either after the particle or between the verb and the particle. Examples. Turn in. Jim turned the homework in. Jim turned in the homework. Take off. She took her glasses off. She took off her glasses. Important. If you use a direct object pronoun, me, you, him, her, it, us, them, it must go between the verb and the particle. Correct. Jim turned it in. She took them off. Incorrect. Jim turned in it. I took off them. Inseparable. The object must go after the particle. Examples: bump into. She bumped into an old friend. Look at. I spent hours looking at that painting. Tip. Deciding if phrasal verb is transitive, separable or inseparable, or intransitive might be challenging for some people. However, when you look up a word in a dictionary, it will clarify the doubt for you. Take a look at the following example extracted from the online version of Macmillan Dictionary. D. Some useful phrasal verbs. To pretend to learn every single phrasal verb is unrealistic. You can, however, get familiar with some we will use in this learning activity. The list below contains definitions and examples to help you understand them more easily. Verb. Furniture. No furniture is so charming as books. Sydney Smith. A. The living room. Now you will become familiar with some vocabulary about furniture and some household objects that will allow you to navigate easily through the exercises in this learning activity. 1. Ceiling fan. 2. Ceiling. 3. Wall. 4. Frame. 5. Painting. 6. Vase. 7. Mantle. 8. Fireplace. 9. Fire. 10. Log. 11. Banister. 12. Staircase. 13. Step. 14. Desk. 15. Wall-to-wall carpeting. 16. Recliner. 17. Remote control. 18. Television. 19. Wall unit. 20. Stereo system. 21. Speaker. 22. Bookcase. 23. Drapes. 24. Cushion. 25. Sofa. 26. Coffee table. 27. Lampshade. 28. Lamp. 29. End table. B. The bedroom. 1. Hook. 2. Hanger. 3. Closet. 4. Jewelry box. 5. Mirror. 6. Comb. 7. Hairbrush. 8. Alarm clock. 9. Bureau. 10. Curtain. 11. Air conditioner. 12. Blinds. 13. Tissues. 14. Headboard. 15. Pillowcase. 16. Pillow. 17. Mattress. 18. Box spring. 19. Flat sheet. 20. Blanket. 21. Bed. 22. Comforter. 23. Bedspread. 24. Footboard. 25. Light switch. 26. Phone. A. Cord. B. Jack. 27. Night table. 28. Rug. 29. Floor. 30. Chest of drawers. Three. Idiomatic expressions. What would a native English speaker say if you told her, "Pongámonos la casa de Ruana"? Do you think she would understand what you mean? What would you do? Would you translate the statement into English? Let's wear the house like a poncho. Well, that wouldn't help either. Do you want to know why? Pongámonos la casa de Ruana is an idiomatic expression. The meaning of an idiomatic expression cannot be understood by the individual words that compose it. Idiomatic expressions are peculiar phrases that sound perfectly natural to native speakers, but might confuse foreigners. Take a look at some other examples of idiomatic expressions used in Colombia. Estar en la olla. Tomarse hasta el agua del florero. As you might imagine, every country has its own idiomatic expressions. Now you will get familiar with some of them in English. The following list has expressions related to furniture and household objects. idiomatic expression. To get your own house in order. Meaning, to pay attention to your own problems before criticizing other people. Example, get your own house in order before telling me what to do. To be on the house. To be free in a restaurant. The next round of drinks is on the house. Everything but the kitchen sink. To take a lot of things when you go somewhere. She took everything but the kitchen sink when we went on vacation. To have a skeleton in the closet. To have a skeleton in the closet. To have a horrible secret. Alvaro has a lot of skeletons in his closet. Armchair critic. Someone who sits in the safety of their own house and criticizes people even though they haven't experienced what they are criticizing. Instead of just being an armchair critic, you should try to do things and see if they are as easy as you think. Basket case. A crazy person. Adrian will turn into a basket case if he doesn't get a job soon. Wet blanket. Someone who spoils other people's fun. Don't invite Ricardo to the party. You know he's a wet blanket. Burn the candle at both ends. To exhaust yourself by doing too much. Robert's been burning the candle at both ends lately. He's working 3 jobs. Roll out the red carpet. To give special treatment to an important visitor. My parents are going to roll out the red carpet for the visit of my brother, the Hollywood actor. Glass ceiling. An invisible discriminatory barrier that prevents women and minorities from achieving positions of power or responsibility. I knew I would never shatter the glass ceiling at my old job. That's why I quit and became a freelancer. Couch potato. Someone who spends too much time sitting at home watching television. The last thing most people want to do is to share a place with a couch potato. Out of the frying pan into the fire. To go from one difficult situation to a worse one. When I tried to argue about my fine for a traffic violation, the police officer charged me with disrespect for authority. I really went out of the frying pan into the fire. Big picture. The general situation rather than the details. I know every aspect is important, but we cannot forget the big picture. A lot on your plate. To be extremely busy or to have a lot of problems to handle at the same time. Don't tell her you crashed her car yet. She has a lot on her plate at the moment. The pot calling kettle black. This expression is used in a situation where a person with a fault criticizes someone else for having the same fault. After being disqualified for not obeying the rules, the player accused another competitor of cheating. It was the pot calling the kettle black. To sweep under the rug. To try to hide something because it is embarrassing. The evidence was on film and the thief couldn't just sweep it under the rug. To be born with a silver spoon in one's mouth. A person who was born into a very rich family. He has never worked a day in his life. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. A storm in a teacup. An unnecessary concern about something unimportant. My brothers had a big argument about the remote control yesterday, but it was just a storm in a teacup. A bed of roses. A comfortable situation, an easy life. Taking care of a newborn baby is not a bed of roses. A bed of nails. A situation that is difficult or unpleasant. Working for that company was a bed of nails. To get up on the wrong side of bed. To feel angry or upset on a particular day. Don't pay attention to him. He just got up on the wrong side of the bed. To lay one's cards on the table. To openly tell someone what you think or what you plan to do. I thought it was time I laid my cards on the table, so I told her that I had no intention of selling my company. To turn the tables on somebody. To change a situation so that you now have an advantage over someone who previously had an advantage over you. It was a tough bid, but fortune turned the tables and we won. To have a bun in the oven, to be expecting a baby. I hear your wife has a bun in the oven. Is it true? To put something on the shelf, to postpone something. I don't think that this is right time to talk about that. Let's put it on the shelf for now. To go down the toilet, to be spoiled. After the corruption scandal, her career went down the toilet. To cushion the blow, to do something that mitigates the effects of something that might be perceived as harsh. To cushion the blow, tell her that even though you are not buying her new car, you are taking her to Europe. To be off the hook, to be freed from an obligation. There was a meeting scheduled for Sunday morning, but it was canceled, so I'm off the hook. Smoke and mirrors. It is a metaphor for fraudulent explanation or description intended to deceive people. We all know that the president was just using smoke and mirrors to make things less serious than they really were. To go to the mat for somebody, something. To support someone or something intensely. I believe in my project and I am willing to go to the mat for it. Contextualization. A. Listen to Laura talk about a problem she's dealing with. Do you know anybody with the same problem? The tortured life of a hoarder.